some toys in here.
Hey, what's up everyone today? It's Manchild. Alright, so today for review, gonna go over the Masters Universe, Masterverse, new Eternia SY-klone figure. Already Wave 13 series of figures for Masterverse. Yeah, never thought we'd see a Sy-klone this far into the line. I didn't even think Masterverse would go this far. Just with rumors of Motu going back a year or two ago. But yeah, they keep coming. Another fan favorite, going back just like the Origins Sy-klone was, and he came out terrific. Hopefully we can mix some parts around with him later, like heads and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm excited to see Sy-klone online. Has a new redesign, but still a core vintage inspiration little design, I want to say. From what I can see with the head and the chest, the radar, but the radar is smaller now to match the newer Masterverse aesthetics with the size of their chests. With this line comes with a new shield that also looks kind of reminiscent of that chest radar a little bit. Really cool art you can see in front of the box here. Right, so of course we have Sy-klone with a shield up in hand. Looks like he has a new face mask as well. So that's a pretty neat accessory. And we also have some SY-klone warriors teased on the right-hand side as well. And here's a quick look at the art or images on the back of the box. So yeah, we just have a picture image of the Sy-klone figure himself, flying with the shield up. Looks like we have some cosmos and meteorites in the background, or he's in space, probably coming to Eternia. So yeah, once again, we have that new face mask you can see, which, yeah, I like that accessory more I looked at it. It's pretty cool. But I do like Sy-klone's face as well, going back to the Origins and what the Vintage did. Now, you also get some new energy or cyclonic plasma effects, I want to call them. Looks like they can snap onto the shield and his wrist as well. And here's a closer look at Sy-klone's new bio. You want to pause and read that. And dropping down, these are all 4 figures as part of the Wave 13 series. And here's some other cool art of Sy-klone on the right-hand side of the box, looking in from the window. And taking a look at the left-hand side of the box, once again looking from the window, yeah, more cool art. So, again, they tease a SY-klone warrior, which, yeah, I would absolutely love to see in a Masterverse. It could be some easy tooling, you know, a skeletal body, some fur on the head. We got some more, I guess, people in Sy-klone's faction, I want to say. Looks like flying in the background. And check this out. They have a little teaser here of, I want to say that was the, I think, Fright Fighter, from what I remember having that as a kid in the vintage line. That's pretty cool. I would even love to see one of those be, remastered for just the Origins. That's a big piece, but it's cool that they show that. Alright, so taking a closer look at Sy-klone's new head and face sculpt for the Masterverse series. Yeah, really well done. I like it. Love the way they paint the eyes in a lot of these Masterverse figures. Sy-klone's really shows. Yeah, some new lines sculpted. You can see on both on the cheekbones that go behind the helmet and under the chin. Has a very cosmic, cybernetic look. I like the color in the skin. Yeah, it has a unique color. It's a little different from the Origins. Just has a couple different tones in it, where the Origins is just a powder blue. Of course, I'll bring in the Origins later and we'll compare, mix the heads and parts around, at least what we can anyway. So as far you can see now, okay, so here's the new helmet design. Very iconic, going back to most of the Sy-klone figures. You can see like the lunar rings that are sculpted around the helmet, and that are not individual parts. That's, you know, part of the sculpt, but painted different from the helmet. Now, what's interesting, as far as the color or the coating on his helmet and the arms, which we'll get into soon, it has sort of a semi-trans, like, lucent effect. So I'm going to bring in a light for a second. You see that? So you can see right through the helmet and the arms, I just noticed. Almost looks like it's a marbleizing coating, I want to say. I don't think it's paint. So it's like casted in a translucent yellow color and then marbleized. I think anyway, I don't know. But yeah, really, it's different. I like it. As far as the head articulation with Sy-klone and his helmet, look all the way left to right? Look down about that far and back. And spinning them around, so all the details with them rings on the back and just had her painted. Yeah, they're a little more, they're like on a shallow side compared to like what the Origins did, or the Classics, which the Origins only had 1 ring around the outer top. These, they have 3 now. So, yeah, it's a cool design for this Masterverse Sy-klone. And now, moving down to the chest and buck area, yeah, obviously the most important piece on Sy-klone, or any Sy-klone figure, is his new chest radar. So it's pretty much, it looks like a sticker on the inside, right? You can see that. Let me zoom in. Has some little metal pieces that's in between the sticker and this lens. Almost looks like little magnets or something. I guess they're supposed to represent the planets. And if you turn them sideways, you can see, so it's like a convex lens facing out. It doesn't, It's not like an articulate or lenticular sticker, excuse me, like the Origins. So when you rotate, it doesn't do anything like that I can see. So it's a multi-layered sticker with a lens and some planets or something glued in between. Cool design, it's different for the Masterverse. Now, you can also see with my Sy-klone has some scratches or little cracks on the very top. Yeah, here we go again with these early QC issues. I'm not saying they're all going to be like that, but I can see this being a very sensitive piece of scratch or something happened. It almost looks like how they put this in and glued it. Maybe the pressure, how it was applied, it's what caused the cracks. I didn't have any damage to my box. All right, it's a little unfortunate. You don't see it when he's on the shelf, but in the light, I can see it well. So I just want to point that out. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much his chest radar. So cool design. It is a little smaller than the Origins. Because the Masterverse aesthetics are small in the chest, which they seem to be going back to the more modern 7-inch action figures as far as the muscles aesthetics, like Spawn and DC and Marvel and stuff like that. That's the way I see them anyway, compared to classics and stuff. So yeah, he has a whole new buck design, obviously, to accommodate this radar piece. Some like vents or something sculpted in here. Up on the shoulders, you have some more lunar rings sticking out now. That's different that the Origins or classics never had. I think the 2000X had this, which I have that figure. I'll compare them. So it's, yeah, sort of a mix between classics, 2000X, and his own design. As far as the articulation now with the upper ab, so we can turn left to right, and you can only go down about that, excuse me, down about that far because it hits this outer piece with their chest radar, but you can go all the way back. He can spin at the waist now. Yeah, of course he doesn't have an action feature at the waist. There's a back. I'll show you in a little bit. I mean, you can spin them all around, but I didn't expect him to. Most of the Masterverse figures don't have action features. So it's just sort of, set them up on your shelf and make believe, But, I like the colors, too, on this figure and stuff like that. Moving back up to the arm, so we'll take a look at the right arm again. Has that goldish translucent plastic, as I already mentioned, with the helmet. But yeah, marbleized, I want to say. That's what it seems like to me. And this helmet, by the way, too. Just jump back to this for a minute. It is an individual piece, right? But it's, let me pop it off, that helps. So there's our ball peg. Usually I take the head off. Let's check that out first before we go further. So it is an individual helmet off the head, but it's, okay, you can see in the back it's pegged and probably glued in. So if you want to remove it for customization, you probably could. I don't know what's behind it, but it is a separate piece. All right, so putting the head back on, getting back to the arm. So yeah, we already talked about the marbleizing process or some type of coating they're using. We know it's translucent for the most part. As far as the articulation, we can go up, down, go all the way forward, back. Has a bicep swivel. You can see he has more of these lunar rings, right, sculpted around the upper bicep that kind of hides the joint between the shoulder and bicep. Has some more, these two translucent cosmic space rings or something coming out, or blades. That's different from the iconic Sy-klone, whether it was the Origins or classics, where it sort of come down the arm. These just stick outward. So it's a different design. It's cool. And you can see, obviously, they move with bicep swivel. Yeah, this piece is painted red. So it's all part of it. Yeah, it's not a separate piece from what I see. These are, though. Man, they seem like they're, yeah, pegged and glued into the arm. But they are definitely different. Translucent blue, okay? So moving down, you can bend all the way up the elbow. Let me see what, I don't know if these hinder that. To the face like that. All right, there's our forearms. Now, Sy-klone has these, so he has two other rings too. That's all part of the arm sculpt, painted red, like the upper rings. And now he comes with, so as far as his bracers, he comes with a left and right bracer that has these plugs on each side. Now, these are not separate. They don't come off. They don't spin. They're painted that metallic blue color to match the body, obviously. So it's all part of the forearm sculpt. Once again, the rings are painted red and these are painted blue from what I can see. They don't come off. And yeah, that's how the shield and the accessory is going to plug in later. And taking a look at the left side, articulation, the arm, the sculpt, this little fin piece is all the same. I already mentioned the gauntlets or bracers on this side. As far as his hands, so he comes with two semi-closed hands. They can spin, go in and out in hinge joints. And to remove them, I think they have the larger pegs. Yep, and there's a look at the peg. So it has a larger new Eternia Masterverse style peg. So to fit like Origins hands or accessories in here, it's not going to work for the most part without customizing. Okay, so putting the hand back on, moving down to the waist. We know he spins at the waist. As I already mentioned, he doesn't have an action feature. Doesn't even have a little button reminiscent of what the vintage had, because that's what the classics did. But again, this is a whole different design for what it's trying to do for Masterverse. So yeah, he has his own belt and loincloth, or something like a samurai style, you know, a protector, a guard. But yeah, just to match Sy-klone's paint, and it's different, more cosmic looking. Again, you can see with the belt, has a planet Saturn or something on there with the rings. Again, perfect for Sy-klone. This piece is pretty flexible. The middle piece, the loin protector piece, the outer pieces of this skirt, you want to call it, bend it all the way up. Good design. It's yeah, painted to match the body. As far as the legs now, so again, they're casted in that translucent plastic color, but I'm going to call it marbleized at this point. Yeah, you could even see the little lines of stuff that you get with the marbleizing process. I know that was, I noticed that in my Origins Extendor. I wasn't sure at first how they went about that, and after reading some of the comments, it's marbleizing, and it's common to see these weird cracks with how it heats and cools and stuff like that with the process, so it works. So as far as the articulation with the legs with Sy-klone, you can go all the way out with a split. All right, kick. Let me see here, my joint's a little tight. Okay, kick forward, go back. Has a thigh cut. Now, you notice, too, Sy-klone has those, I want to call them drop joints, I think they call them. So you see that? You can push it all the way up into body and down, which is funny because if one's down and one's up, he's like Bigfoot, Littlefoot guy. So that's what that's about. It just helps your articulation with the leg go out and, you know, different positions with the legs. So I'm going to push him back in, but he does have those drop joints. I already said the thigh cut. As far as in the articulation, you can bend all the way up at the knee, right? Okay, we said it, sorry, thigh cut, jumping around here. He comes with, yeah, now the boots too, they're really tall, so he has his own style boots. They can spin, has some more lunar rings. It's all part of the sculpt, painted red. And of course the boots can come off if you wanted to, larger pegs. And moving down, so yeah, the boots are molded, or yeah, I guess they're casted, match this upper body color. And it looks like, so it was all one cast, and they painted the red over the boot. You can even see some slop over here, the over paint or spray. And as far as the foot, he can, let me see, oh my God, they're tight. Okay, he can go down about that far up and rock side to side. How's the other side? There we go, up, down. Wow, these are really, yeah, not too much flexibility on his foot. Maybe I got to heat the peg up, or the joint. Up, down, rock side to side. Huh. And the other legs, as far as the articulation, is all the same. And now, moving forward with Sy-klone's new weapons and accessories. So he comes with this really cool looking techno, I guess, energy shield. It's molded in, yeah, translucent plastic color, which is, yeah, I like that instead of a solid shield. Yeah, there's all kinds of cool patterns and designs. Very reminiscent to his radar a little bit. You can actually see the planets, right? Some type of planetary structure sculpted within the shield. You have like I guess these are the wind symbols, rings, just little lines of, yeah, just some kind of technology. I'm assuming it's an energy shield again. And has a couple plugs there, and then you can see where it snaps onto this bracer. Now, these plugs is where those fire effects are going to go on. So moving forward, of course, Sy-klone comes with 2 extra punching fists for the left and right side with the larger pegs. They have hinge joints that go in and out. I don't ever use these, but, you know, you do get them. And now here's a look at that face mask that this new Sy-klone comes with. So, yeah, it's molded in a hard red plastic color. Yeah, designed to snap in between the helmet and his face, which we'll put on soon. And now here's a look at those last 2 accessories that Sy-klone comes with. So yeah, like an energy or fire effect that's going to plug into those gauntlets on the arms, or it can go on a shield. So cast it now in a translucent red color, like, yeah, flame. I don't know how you would have a flame in space, but maybe when he's spinning fast enough and with enough cosmic energy, it creates these. All right, and they're both the same as far as left and right side of the sculpt. And they're pretty soft for the most part. So again, another cool accessory to add with this Sy-klone figure. And now, bringing Sy-klone in once again, let's start setting him up with these spare accessories. So, of course, put on that face mask first. And so it looks like you're just going to push it like around the edges of the eyes, and snap like that inside the helmet. Got to kind of adjust it. And now, there's a quick look with that setup, or yeah, just at least the mask on Sy-klone's face. So, that again, that's a pretty neat accessory. Kind of gives Sy-klone a hidden identity as a character coming from the cosmos or space. And now, once again, moving back to this cosmic energy space shield. So we already know that it has a large peg on the inside, and already talked about these wrist gauntlets that they have plugs on both the left and right side. So I'm just going to put it on the left side at the moment. So just going to plug in. Yeah, it's pretty much how it goes. So, yeah, it doesn't, as I said, the bracers or gauntlets, whatever you want to call them, they don't move to where the shield can move up and down. It kind of goes back to like the new Eternia Battle Armor He-Man or something like that. It's similar to that, to, put a shield in. But with all the articulation now with these Masterverse figures and the Sy-klone, you can kind of manipulate the arms to put the shield up by the face, out, in all kinds of different positions. So you don't really need this to turn, because all the other articulation does. And now, of course, I just removed it from the left side. I'm just going to plug it into the right, see what that looks like. And now there's a look with that setup, or the shield, on the right side of the arm, how you can hold it. And I'm having a lot of trouble with the articulation, getting the shield this right with this arm. My articulations, it's tight all over this figure. Varies Masterverse figure to figure. I thought it seemed to work better on the left side, just the way I can move everything. It might just be my figure, but... So now removing the shield off the right side, right gauntlet. Of course, now going back to that plug in the back, that's the storage area for the shield. You don't want to use it. Just plugs right in like that, and there you go. Place to hold the shield. So, of course, removing the shield off Sy-klone's back and getting back to these fire effects. So, pretty much you're just going to plug into both the left and right side, right? Put that one on like so. And this one on this side. And it doesn't matter how you want to plug them in. If you want to spin them upside down, or which way the shield goes. You can do it like that and spin them around. And now there's a look with that setup. So once again, yeah, we have the energy shield on the left side, mask on the face, and just added the fire effects. Gives Sy-klone something different. And then, of course, I just switched the shield with the fire effects on the right side. You want to see what that looks like he's in a battle position. And then lastly, so of course I took the fire effects off. I'm going to put the shield on the back once again. And then taking a look at the right arm once again with that gauntlet with the plug. So, of course, the fire effects can work in these as well. Just plug it in that side. And then go back to the left side and plug this one in. And now there's a quick look with that setup, or overall effects. That's pretty cool. And if you want, it makes sense that the flames would be going up towards his back if he's spinning, but you can turn them around, use them as some kind of flame blades if you want to. Alright, so moving forward with a couple comparisons and a little bit of mixing and matching of parts. So, of course, once again, here's our new Eternia SY-klone against the 2000X Sy-klone, which I still have out of all those figures. I got rid of a lot of them. But, I kind of see a little bit of similarities and inspiration somewhat between the 2000X and the Masterverse, because they just got that, I don't know, American anime style aesthetics, smaller chest, longer arms, legs, kind of what these figures remind me of a little bit. Now he had the that newer sticker like the Origins has, lenticular sticker, which is really cool. Would have been neat if he had something like that, but this works for him. He does have a different ring. The face is, a typical Sy-klone face, really well detailed, where this one is too, his own thing going. Typical shield, his different rings. Now, what would have been cool? Oh yeah, he has like these rings over the shoulders, and this one has it in the body. So took a little bit of inspiration, but these are totally different. And you notice the 2000X and the Origins, which I'm going to bring in soon. The classics did too, have this kind of space blade ring, which would have been cool if this figure had. Now, this is his own thing. It's not going to come off that I'm aware of. I'm not going to mess with it. But I wish he would have came with something like that. I'm surprised he didn't with that plug. Anyway, I just wanted to bring a comparison with those two. And this one, too, had different designs in the arms. He had a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. I like this one. Has a little bit of a classic design using typical Masterverse legs and arms. But it would have been neat if it had some extra fins and stuff like that, like the 2000X. But for what it is, it's a good design. And of course, now here's a comparison between our new Masterverse Sy-klone against the Origins Sy-klone, which, I absolutely love the way he came out. Just vintage nostalgia. And I do have the classics, too. He's in card up on my shelf. At this point, I don't need, the classics is just a growing up Origins figure. And I can't even see what parts we would mix. I do have a classics head that I'm going to try on him. I'll show you that in a little bit. But as far as part swapping with these two, now, the first thing I wanted to look at is this, going back to that ring, right? So this was pretty cool. I already showed this in my review. The ring can snap. This is the down position going the up position. So if you're not familiar, I'm going to pop it off like that. And he has this removable backpack piece, which I was looking at. Now, it's on a peg, and there's a hole in the back of the body. So I'm going to move him out of the way for a second. And going back to the Masterverse one, removing the shield, I was hoping that this backpack piece for the Origins, even though the color's off, and you can make it work, still blue, would plug into the shield hole to use this Origins ring. But, yeah, it doesn't. It's, this is too long and that's too shallow, and it's just, if this was deeper, this might actually push and lock in. Now, you might be able to customize it. I mean, here you go again. I mean, to try to get an Origins Sy-klone this figure, unless you're really a customizer, you'd have to cut this back or drill a hole in here. That's what I would do. It shouldn't affect this piece as long as you don't go too deep with the drill bit. But then I don't know with this articulation, there's usually a plug up in here and you might hit that. So it's kind of a touchy thing. Again, it's not something I would do, but it is possible. But it would have been cool if this was shorter, deeper, and that would plug in. And then if you did that, you know, going back to this piece, you lock this, you know, say, just kind of make a cheap thing. Put this over the figure, maybe under the, you know, okay, you got to mess around with it. Move the arms out of the way or up. But you kind of get the point. Maybe under the legs. You know, kind of experimenting here. Oh, there we go. And then you would plug in there. But even then, I don't know, once this is in, how far that ring will come out. Probably just enough to use it. So it kind of looks something like that. Again, kind of short as possible. But I just wanted to show that concept between the Origins and if this would work on a figure. So for the most part, no, but it can be customized. You want to do something like that. All right, so moving forward, the next thing I wanted to try was a couple head swaps. So of course, right, there's a Masterverse Sy-klone. Of course, I removed the head. I'm going to pop the Origins head on this body and see what that looks like. And now just look with that setup. So yeah, the Origins head fits perfect, like a lot of the ball pegs do between the Masterverse and Origins. You know, it doesn't look too bad, even though now you have a brighter yellow helmet that's kind of throwing the arms and legs out. But it is detailed enough and just gives it a different look. You can mix blues and yellows up and articulates really well. So if you like mixing Origins parts with something more serious as far as a body or Masterverse, what it would look like. All right, so the other thing I wanted to do is I'm going to remove this Origins head, and I wanted to bring in the Classics 2000X Sy-klone head that came in at, it was a heads accessory pack, which was really cool. I wish the Origins or Masterverse would do something like this, give us alternative heads. I mean, there's a lot of custom ones on people make them on eBay and Facebook and Barbosa Customs, stuff like that, which are pretty expensive, but that's pretty cool. Okay, and there you go. Yeah, that Classics head with a little bit of force did fit down on that ball peg for this Masterverse Sy-klone's body, which I kind of knew it would. Most of the Classics heads are always really tight, so you could heat them up or force them down. And Masterverse heads are usually loose on Classics ball pegs, so you put tape or reinforcement with putty or something like that. But that's a pretty cool look if you had that head. Again, even though it's a different yellow color from the body parts, it just still works with this figure. You know, you can mix and match stuff. It is a little tight on articulation. See, we'll go like turn left that way, but then to the right it gets stuck. He could look down and up, but again, it's I don't know how many people would have these heads, or you find them on eBay every now and then. But if you had this figure and you had some Classics heads or that one, yeah, they can work and looks cool on his overall body. And then jumping back over to the Origins, so of course I'm gonna try the Masterverse head on this body because a lot of people like mixing Masterverse parts with Origins, or some people do anyway from the comments. And yeah, just look at that setup. So yeah, put the ring back on the Origins. I left one of his tornadic effects. I just put it on the left hand. You can see I kept a hand shield on the right. I did have both of these, but I wanted to mix it around. I have one hand, one of these effects. And it, yeah, fits good, articulates well. And, you know, it doesn't look bad on this figure. It gives it just a different look. You can mix and match parts. But personally, with the Origins Sy-klone, for me, it's all about the nostalgia. So I'd probably keep this head on. And now, removing the Masterverse head and putting the Origins head back on the Origins body. I want to see if this Masterverse face mask would fit the Origins Sy-klone head. Now, it looks like it could, but you got to pull this. It looks like there's space in that helmet. And if you can heat this up and push that in there, it might work. But you got to be careful because this is like harder plastic and it might scratch the paint up. But if you can get it to work, it looks like it would. Kind of looks something like that. But you'd have to push this helmet. Let me try this, because there is enough, you know, of a gap between the helmet and face. And it's kind of risky. And now once again, bringing the Masterverse Sy-klone back in, I have the head on. I left the fire effect on, but I took the one off this side. What I wanted to try with the Origins whirlwind effects is, will it fit in the hand? Now, no. So we know taking this hand off, it's doing the right one. Has a larger style peg, and it just has a typical small Origins style peg. So for the most part, it's not going to fit. But again, with a little adapter piece in there, something like that, little piece of hollow stock that can adapt from the hand. You know, you cut it, push it in, and put this in, or put some putty or tape. It is possible, you know, so it would kind of look like that if you could plug this in. It's not going to articulate, but for effect, you want to remove the hands and, as I said, reinforce it somehow. You could put one on each side or both from the Origins if you had it. It would look like that in this figure. and be a really cool effect. It's a shame they didn't have adapter pieces, or these weren't smaller pegs, or these weren't larger to fit the hands of the Masterverse and vice versa. But there's a will, there's a way it would work, and that's what it would look like if you were curious. And once again, moving forward, I just want to do a couple more size comparisons. So, of course, there's our new Revolution He-Man with the regular chest armor on against our new Masterverse Sy-klone. So it's just an overall look at the sizes of those two. They're pretty much the same height, side he has a larger chest. And then the last comparison I wanted to do, where I thought was important, was bringing in a new Masterverse Leech from Wave 13 with our Masterverse Wave 13 Sy-klone figure. So yeah, this was the last review I put up. You know, a lot of people liked him, but a lot of people thought he was on the smaller side, which he kind of is. He's not trying to do what the 2000X or Classics did. These figures are being inspired from the POP or the Princess of Power animation, which, if you go back to that cartoon, Leech was the same height as most figures. I mentioned that in my video. Now, there's something I did discover with him that makes him a little taller against Sy-klone, but Sy-klone is still a bigger figure because of his helmet. He does have drop-down joints, so I apologize in my video. I remember mentioning that or saying my figure did not move, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. This figure does. A lot of newer figures are getting these. Why doesn't Leech have them? And he does, but I had to heat him up and really pull him. So see that? Oh, the Sy-klone. They pull down. So, and the point of that is it does make Leech taller now. So that's a lot better because he is a small figure. But even with the legs in the drop-down position, he still is shorter. You know, he's a little bit smaller figure compared to Sy-klone, which seems tall. So I just wanted to make a note of that or any corrections. But when you do that, so it makes the figure taller, which is better. But then you have this big gap in here. You know, when it's down low, you're not going to see it. But for the most part, I don't know, I think they look better in the up position when he's standing. And it kind of makes him a lot shorter again. So I just kind of wanted to point that out and show you the differences. And if you put them legs all the way in, now there's Leech against Sy-klone and what he would look like against He-Man, which I showed in my review, where he's a lot smaller. So I think that was disappointing for a lot of people. Otherwise, the sculpt and design is awesome. You know, maybe we'll get a new Eternia one, you know, down the road, because the Horde Trooper coming out from Mattel Creations in summertime is going to be new Eternia. So that's going to open the door on that, and I can totally see new Eternia, Leech, Grizzlor coming, and I have no doubt when they do that, they'll probably be oversized or larger figures. At least characters like Leech and Grizzlor would be. Okay, so that's my overall review on the new Masterverse new Eternia Sy-klone figure. Yeah, I really like the design for Masterverse. It's really cool how they went about everything. I like the marbleization or marbleizing effect. That's what they did in the legs, arms, and the helmet. The head and face sculpt's really cool, like most of the Masterverse figures are. That new energy shield with the fire effects is a really neat concept and accessory. It's also interesting that the fire effects can go on the shield, or you can take the shield off, put it on the back, and put the fire effects on the arms. So that's different. I like this chest radar. It's a shame mine has little cracks and splits. Again, it's a QC issue. You see this with a lot of people get early figures in hands from eBay and stuff, like I do, and you know, other content reviewers do. It's nothing typical, and usually when the figures come out, they're better. These are just some early batches of waves, I think, anyway, from what I've seen. Yeah, I'm okay. It didn't have a lenticular sticker, but yeah, it's its own thing going on. It's fine. It doesn't have an action feature. Yeah, it would have been cool. I did not expect this with Masterverse. The same way Leech didn't have any sucker effects. It was another kind of complaint or a gripe I got in the comments. I didn't expect it with these, you know, him as well. And the size, going back to the size again a little bit. And yeah, straight pulling them legs down does help him, but not by too much. You know, it is what it is. Side that, I think he's an awesome design. And anybody who likes this line, I think you're going to like this figure once you get him in hand. Pre-orders are like up in Big Bad Toy Store. They're going for around June. A lot of these are floating around eBay now. You know, certain toy sellers get cases in hand early, but, you know, you do pay a higher cost. I wouldn't recommend it. I only do it for reviews. So just wait for him. He'll be out before you know it. I think he's worth it. Excellent design. So hopefully it answered everybody's questions. I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, take care.